You're on.
There are two types of calibration for the Endress-Hauser residual chlorine analyzer. The first type is a standard calibration of the chlorine sensor. This would be part of a weekly or even daily maintenance process. The second calibration would be calibration of the pH electrode. We want to cover for a couple minutes the steps in calibrating the chlorine sensor. First thing we want to tell you is when you take your DPD test for reference, please take multiple samples before you decide to calibrate the chlorine analyzer. There are many variables that can affect this reading, including the cleanliness of the glass, the time since you add your reagent before you take the reading, and the water level. So we want to take several readings to get an average before we make a calibration. Now let's hone in and look at the simple steps that are required to do a calibration. So this is the normal screen you're going to see when you walk up to the analyzer. Top line, residual chlorine. Middle line, pH value. Bottom line, temperature. First thing to note is that if you haven't been around the transmitter for more than about a minute pushing the buttons, it will go into an energy save mode and turn off the backlight. Any button you touch for the first time will cause the backlight to come on, but no action is taken. So it's easy to think that nothing happened when you push the button. When you walk up to the unit, you've taken your DPD sample, and now you want to do a calibration for the chlorine sensor. You hit this button for chlorine, for cal, excuse me. Nothing happened because the backlight came on. I hit it again. Screen changes. We have the option here, highlighted at the top, to calibrate the chlorine sensor. I use the jog shuttle button at this time and push it in. The calibration method I want to select is the one called slope. At the very top, it'll be highlighted. Hit the jog shuttle button. It asks you, do you want to do a sample calibration or a data input calibration? You will always select sample calibration. It then says, do you want to start the calibration? Hold turns to active. What that means is if we hit the OK button at this point, the 4 to 20 output will now hold, and it will stay wherever it is until we're done with the calibration. We hit OK. The sensor, the transmitter will prompt us. It says, please clean the sensor before beginning the process. You can ignore this step. There's no need to clean the sensor. It's in the flow block. Hit OK. It gives you the raw measured value coming off the sensor. It says waiting for stabilized measured value. The transmitter wants to make sure that the output from the chlorine sensor is stable before we attempt to do a new calibration. After it does that, it says sample measurement successful. You can continue the calibration. Hold was activated. We're going to select OK. It says continue calibration. We hit enter. And this line here is highlighted of the residual value that the unit's reading. We want to select the jog shuttle button and hit enter. And we now have a table for data entry of our calibration value. Our DPD test resulted in the same reading here of a 0.86. I simply hit the 0 highlighted. I hit the jog shuttle button. It jumps to the decimal. I hit it again. Now I can change the value here by rotating the jog shuttle button. I select 8. It jumps to 6. I'm going to make the 3 a 0 for purposes of demonstration. The check mark is now highlighted. If I wanted to abort this calibration for any reason, I could highlight the X and hit enter. But I want to accept this calibration. I highlight the check mark, select enter, and the screen that we just previously had comes up. It says, do you want to take over the calibration data? Meaning, do you want to put this in as the currently accepted calibration value? I roll the jog shuttle down, highlight that, hit enter. It says, do you want to accept the calibration data for adjustment? And OK is here under this, above this button. Hit OK. Calibration finished. You hit OK. Takes you back to the calibration screen. This key is above this key is highlighted, escape. Hold the escape key. It goes back to the main screen for normal operation. Thank you.